Hi everyone, Mary at Espresso Press Design. Thank you for joining me today, June 17th, 2025. Today we're going to be making some dimensional stickers that were inspired by these stickers that I have. I believe they're from K & Company, and I absolutely love these stickers. I could not find anything like them again. And what you're going to see is that they are acetate and paper. Some are flat, but most are dimensional. They're all different sizes, all different shapes. There's a pretty little one, and love this one too. Some have glitter. Let me see, this one has a little glittery center. Don't know if you're going to see that, but that is what inspired today's project. So there's another cute little one, all red. So I've been pretty much making these all week, and a lot of fun, and they are going to enhance my ephemera a lot. So let me get my stuff out here. Had a little bit of a pet emergency here during my first take. So I'm a little flustered, but the show must go on. Nothing too serious. At least not for the cat. The chipmunk, I don't know. But yeah, the joys of summer. The joys of summer with no sun. So I've been making these, and some are completely flat. I'll do a couple of those for you, or at least one, to show you that they can be any dimension. So hopefully you are getting a fairly decent look at those, but no fear, there will be a photo, and you can hop on over to the blog and see them all more closely and get some ideas. So that's what we're going to be making. Absolutely love them. So you're probably going to find it helpful to do this in assembly line fashion. And first you'll just need some paper scraps. That's what I began with, all scraps. You're going to need some foam tape, dimensional tape, and some flatter, more flat, thinner foam tape for the back when you go to apply these to your project. That's what they had on the back, little foam dot. You're going to need some acetate. I began with packaging. I like that. I have some other acetate that I purchased, not quite as thick, but still will work. You can use vellum, but make sure you have a pretty thick vellum. And then I did purchase some acetate. I wish I would have got one a little thicker. I actually prefer the packaging. So this is actually a box that I deconstructed, and that is what I began with, but both work. So you're going to need some glue. You don't necessarily need your professional glue. for this. Good old Elmer's will work fine if you don't mind waiting for the dry time, but it does give you a little more wiggle room. You'll need some assorted punches. Now I could not get through the acetate with all my punches, so I had to stick with the ones that did work. Couldn't get through it with my circle punches. I think my punches are a little too dull at this point. And but just gradated. Some of these are actually die cuts that I've had in assorted places for quite some time. As long as I could gradate the size, they were fine. So there we go through that. You'll need some alcohol markers. I use Sharpie and I have another kind here. You'll need some acrylic markers. Either one. I have those here. Some of these I did. The acetate was glittery, so I used some of my pearlized glue to coat the acetate. Some of them I used glitter glue to coat the acetate. So I had all kinds of things, and I think that's pretty much it. And again, you're probably going to find it helpful to do this in assembly line fashion. So you might want to keep some sort of tray. Have an office tray here. Have this little thing here with all my sizes gradated. And I found it helpful just to make a bunch of each piece, and then all I had to do was assemble. And then for your top, if you want a little top, I had assorted rhinestones, assorted stickers, things like that. Okay, so let's get started. And first I'm going to punch out a couple of these for you. And let me get to my thank yous real quick. Thank you to C. George, Adrienne, Andra, Natasha, Becca, Nancy, Vicky, and Betta. Thank you so much for your orders. Thank you everyone for visiting, subscribing, liking, sharing, all that good stuff. So I generally use this one for my base. And I would just pop out a bunch of these. And then I had a stack when I wanted to make a smaller one. These are a little difficult to see, of course, because they're clear. I don't even know where that one went. Let me get another one. Oh, geez. Okay. Let me put my hand over there. I'll go that way. There we go. Okay, I have enough. Okay, so that's basically what I did. And I have an entire little stack here of them. You also might find a sheet of paper handy. Let me get this large white one out of the way. Don't need that anymore. And then, now where'd my scraps go? Now I'm completely flustered this morning. Thanks to my cat. Where'd you go? Paper. Oh my goodness. Oh, here you are. Okay. So then, naturally, I needed a smaller size. So I would just begin going to my smaller size, and I generally would use this ribbon punch for my first layer, just because it fit nicely and looked nice on this, you know, that's a nice gradation there. So I pretty much would begin with that one. Although sometimes I would just put a smaller one in the center of a large one. And then you could see more of the acetate. Okay. So that's what I generally did. Have everything here in assorted sizes. I think you know how to punch out shapes. So I'll get that back here in a second. Let me get these in a bigger space here so I can sort through as needed. There we go. So I would just put those in a tray like that. But first I would color these or glue these if I wanted. But this glue is not going to dry, so I will just do one here for you and then set it aside to dry. I don't think I ever did this color, and it's most likely to show up for you, so I would just put that on there. Give that a little twirl with my finger. And then just put that aside to dry. Like so. I mean, I don't know why it's beating up. This is my new acetate, and now it's sticking. It did not beat up on my other acetate. Maybe there's a film on there, but I know that's going to be difficult to see, but it is slightly teal. So that's, I did some like that. I also did some like that with the glitter glue. But now my hand's all stained. And then to clean these off, little alcohol. If desired. But when I first began, of course, I had to see what will stick to acetate, and I discovered that glitter glue and, or not glitter glue, Sharpie and acrylics will adhere to acetate. So basically I would just begin by decorating my acetate. And I would, for the most part, I just went around the rim and put polka dots. Some of them I colored in completely. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, this one is completely colored, nice and bright. And then the piece of paper is helpful, especially for the acrylic marker. Because you don't want to keep sliding into your wet marker or your wet paint, to try to keep your acetate clean where you're not painting, drawing. And then when you have to turn it a little bit for your own ease, you don't want to go back in that wet paint or glue because then it gets all yucky. Okay, so you can be as creative as you want. Okay, so I did something like that. And then I would just put some little polka dots. And it really wasn't that much. I have a little craft carry carton. Took these outside. When I had to dry something, I just popped it on a foam piece. So as it was drying, it didn't blow away in the wind or anything. And these were all small enough to take outside and make these pretty little flowers. Okay, let me get this up here and show you. Something like that. And then the same for the acrylic. Let me get a color here. Did I have it? Let me try this one. And that was pretty much the same. You might like the more matte finish of this acrylic. I like both. I like them all. Now I did not try painting over my entire piece with the acrylic. So see, I'm always looking for a clean spot. Keep a little alcohol and cotton swab if you desire close by. I'm going to set that there to dry a minute. And then I'm going to do a smaller one. Let me see. I generally would look at my colors. I mean, these are pretty wild. I didn't I mixed, matched, and blended all kinds of different colors, but I would generally have a color combination in mind before I colored my acetate. This is one I don't think I have any small of that, so let me see. Where's my small? Okay, I know I have some dark blue, so let me find the darkest blue I have here so I can make a tiny one. So I did the same thing on the small ones. And you can put whatever design you want. I mean, if you want to try to do some little mandalas or something. But I kept it simple because it only shows through slightly with the dimension, or due to the dimension. Okay, so I think you get the gist of that. And then it was just a matter of I know that's nowhere near dry. Let me get these back out of the way before I lose them all. And then it was just a matter of choosing and stacking, and if I wanted a, well, I should keep one out there to do a final demonstration here. Okay. Let me flip this over. Oh, it bled through. And we can do our decorating. Now these do not take long to dry, except for the painting the background. It depends how much humidity you have. So okay, let me get something that might match this. That looks like it'll do fine. Sometimes no, I think I pretty much always did my first dimension raised. And then tip, keep a crappy pair of scissors, unless you have the foam dot. Otherwise your scissors get covered with glue. Okay, just pop that in the center. And then begin. Get this one, second one nice and centered, and I'm all, there we go. There we go. That looks pretty. So then I would look for my second piece. And I would either try to put some contrast. Let me see if I have anything dark enough here. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Okay, so I might just end it with that because there's a little flower on there and that looks pretty enough. Or I would keep going. That'll work. That will work. So there's layer 2, and I would either pop up layer 2 or let's see. That will probably work. So I would either just pop up layer 1 and glue layer 2 and 3, or I would glue layer 2 and then just pop up layer 3. There's all kinds of ways you can do this. So I think that's probably what I'll do. I'll just glue layer 2. And this is what I mean. You don't need your good glue for this. Elmer's works fine. And gives you a little wiggle room. Make sure you get everything nice and centered. So I'm just going to let that dry for just a second. And then I'm going to move on to this one. Let's see. I guess I'm going to go with polka dots. And then I'm pretty much at the tail end of this. And I don't feel any sticky, so I'm going to move on to a new roll here. And then at the very end is when I added my rhinestones if I wanted them. It's not centered. I can tell this is a new roll, and this paper probably could have used a little backing. So that's another thing. I kept some file folder and stuff like that if I had a piece that needed a little more stability. Okay, so this one, I might do something like that. Or, let me see, I don't want dots and dots. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Just a dark blue. And then something light for the top. Let me see, I could go back with another polka dot. Or I could do something entirely different. Complementary color. I think I like that little. I think that. Okay. So this one I will raise up the second layer and just glue the third layer. Hopefully, yeah. Make sure your tape is not bigger than is not larger than your shape. Okay. Then I will just glue the third layer. Just put a little dot here. Okay. See how easy that is? Now what did I say I was going to put on top of there? Oh, this little flower, I think. Or maybe that little flower. I think I'll put that little peachy flower. Okay. And there's the second one. Let me get these back where they belong. Okay. See, this is especially outside. Whoops, I don't want those mixed. So a bigger tray definitely helps. Those 3 little clear trays that they have at Dollar Tree, a couple of those would work great. I was going to go get some yesterday, but okay, so if you want a tiny one, so there's 2. This one is hardly dimensional at all. This one has the polka dots. Then, you know, I really didn't, I tried to create as many flowers as I could by layering and whatnot. Just tried to get a bunch of different shapes. So I took, let me see here. I want some blue. Let's give me some dark blue here. See, I think I'd rather cut into this. Took as many shapes as I could think of. And then if you want to do a flat one, just do a flat one by putting, and I'm going to use my better glue on here. And there you have a flat one. Which is just as pretty. You mop up that seepage. Here's a flat one. So let me get an alcohol marker here and do one more in some kind of color and show you what else you can do. And this will probably be let's see if this is going to work. Let me see if I can, yeah, that'll work. I just colored my entire piece. I didn't worry about it. It's going to pretty much get covered up. Actually, those ones I even sprayed with a little alcohol just to see what would happen. So there, my entire piece is, if you keep going over it, you're just going to lift the previous layer. So just let it get on there and get it dry. And if you don't want the trouble of any of this at all, let me get to a, let me see if I can layer a color. Generally what I found was, okay, there we go. Let me see if I can just get a color around the edge here. Make that a little more interesting. Okay, we're at 39. I hope you get the gist, but the thing that's probably most surprising is that this, you can actually color on acetate with marker. Something I didn't know. In the future, well, I did get heat resistant acetate. But it might be fun to do some cool things with heat in the future. So another thing you can do if you don't want to take all this time, and what's actually going to take the time here is me trying to get this sticker apart. You can just put stickers on top of these if you want. What just fell? Oh, my little tiny one. Okay, I don't want dead air here. Almost there, I think. Almost there. Let me just try to get this in the center, although even that didn't matter because those were all wonky. So you can just use a sticker. If you don't want to be, constructing flowers and whatnot. Just a minute, I have to pick up my tiny one. And what is that? Oh, piece of lace. Okay. So I would wait for these to dry. And then this one might get a rhinestone on the top. Let me see if I have a little sticker that would match that. Another little, what do you call these? Dots? No, Nouveau, kind of Nouveau things. I think I'll do that little purple one. I would probably add some more glue to this, but for the sake of time. Okay, there we go. So let me get this a little more stable here. Bring this up so you can see what we did today. And that's pretty much all of the applications. Okay, here we go. So there's a sticker, completely colored, pearlized glue, 2 layers raised, 1 layer raised, completely flat, using a sticker and doing the different sizes. So I think that's pretty much it. And of course I will have a photo on the blog so you can see all the different shapes, layers, colors, die cuts. And again, I didn't construct any with circles, but if that's all you have is 3 circle punches, don't worry about it. It's still going to look great. It's really your acetate that's making these a little bit different from the norm. So if all you have is circles, I actually meant to do a couple of circle ones, but I don't want to run out of time here. So I still want to finish my stack of cut out acetate, and I'll be doing that throughout the week and seeing what other kind of cool designs I can come up with. So okay everyone, that is our dimensional stickers, and they're going to be a great addition to your embellishments. I'm quite sure you could put these in a little pack and sell them in a craft show, and they're just a lot of fun and so stinking cute. Look at that pretty little one there. I just love them, and now I have my own, and I don't have to hunt for things that are no longer in stock. Okay everyone, you have a great day and a great week, and I'll thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you next time. Bye.